haven't had a media infrastructure that's allowed us to organize our messaging enough to actually push back against this stuff. And you look at, I mean, not going to go too deep into my qualms with legacy media, but if you look at what the legacy media has done, it is really bending over backwards to do the whole both sidesism, and they can't really be relied on to make this case for Democrats. And we don't have a messaging apparatus like the right does. The right has Fox News, OAN, Newsmax, Steve Bannon's show, Alex Jones's show. There are so many different outlets that the right has, and they exist to serve as propaganda outlets for the right. The left has no equivalent. You can't look at CNN or CBS or ABC or NBC and say that those are the equivalent to the right. They're not there to serve the Democratic Party in the same way that right-wing media is there to serve the Republican Party. And so I do argue in the book that we do need a stronger independent media ecosystem. We need a stronger progressive media ecosystem, and I do think that MSNBC has been wonderful with that, and Jen here has been wonderful with that. But I think it is important to make sure that we have messengers out there who don't exist just to focus solely on entrenching, the both sides journalism that we've seen for so long.
This guy is one of the leading left-wing propagandists in the country. He is the biggest access journalist that I've ever seen. And there's so much wrong with what he just said. Do you realize, I mean, it's just so warped. Do you realize he talked about how the right-wing media has this propaganda machine, and he says that the left doesn't have that, right? So when he's referring to the right, it's a propaganda machine. When he's referring to the left, it's that, right? He's not saying the right has a propaganda machine and the left doesn't have a propaganda machine like that, and we need a propaganda machine, like we need propaganda on our side. That's basically what he's advocating for, right? He's talking about how they have this thing and we don't have it. And he's not saying that should be a good thing. We're not like the right. We don't have this big propaganda machine. I mean, that would be false, but that should be something that's complementary. And I would think that you see how bad things have gotten on the right and you'd want to do better, not do the same. I mean, why do you think that conservatives are so lost with what happened with the election in 2020 and January 6th and so many different things? Because they have this ecosystem that you're advocating for on the left. You want to have the same thing on the left? You want to have a left-wing Daily Wire? You want to have all these... Wow. You want to have, to be honest, they have a lot of that already as far as an independent media. I mean, it's just, again, I can't even handle this. This guy who's saying this, what's he at, 5 million subscribers? He's a progressive media. He's a propaganda guy. And he's finally got himself up to something 4 or 5 million. Was it 2 million? I don't know. He's got multiple millions of subscribers. He's pretty large. And then he's talking about mainstream media, both sides of him. And then he's like, oh, but MSNBC is doing a great job. MSNBC is mainstream media, and he's a contributor for MSNBC. And then he's talking to Jen Psaki, whatever her name is. I mean, wow. Like, she is somebody who was a press secretary who's now working in the media, blending government and media. I mean, propaganda. What business does she have as a government person working in the media, right? You think she's going to go as hard on the Democrats if she was completely independent of the Democrats as opposed to used to work for them? I mean, come on, man, right? So he's sitting there and he's admitting that MSNBC is doing a great job, right? He's advocating for propaganda. He's saying MSNBC is doing a great job. So he's saying MSNBC is doing great propaganda. He's talking to this former press secretary and right wing has that as well, right? They had their press secretary now on Fox News. I mean, it's just insane. We don't need the media to be making the case for no goddamn Democrats. Let the right wing do that, right? Having Tucker Carlson speaking at rallies. Like, what is that? You're media and you're campaigning? You do political campaigning? Like, make a decision. Don't blend the two. If you're doing government, do government. You do media. Right? And it doesn't make any sense, man. We don't need that. You know who needs to make a strong case for the Democrats? The Democrats. Right? The media's job is to inform the public. Hold the feet to the fire of our government. Republican Party, Democratic Party, those in power, right? Ask them the tough questions. Hold them accountable, right? Democrats screw up, go after them. Republicans screw up, go after them. And that's not both sides, right? There is a both sides thing where they try to be, well, we don't want to be too harsh against the Republicans, So, yeah, I think both sides need to calm things down. Something that's predominantly coming from the Republican Party, but there's a little bit on the Democratic Party. So you say, oh, both sides. No. That's not what I'm talking about. If the Republicans do something crazy, call it out with the same energy as if the Democrats do something crazy, right? And you don't got to always qualify that, well, the other side does it too, right? That's not what we need. We need the media to do their job and tell us the truth. And if the Democrats have a message to send, then they need to go on the media and other channels, and they need to make the case, right? Democrats make the case, not the media. Media, I mean, he's literally advocating. That's how propaganda is so infested in this country. If you have a guy, he's openly advocating that we need the propaganda on the left, which again, we already have, but he wants more of it. He wants it. Okay, let me be specific. Clearly, the propaganda machine on the right is much bigger and much more powerful than what they have on the left. What they have on the left is an absolute joke, right? So he's advocating that they need to step up their propaganda on the left. They need to have media that operates like Fox News that are trying to elect Democrats. What? That's not what we need, man. That is dangerous stuff. You know what's dangerous about that? If the Democrats are doing some dirty stuff that's going against the people, right? And these are people with power and money, right? And they have the news media who are operating as their spokesman, right? Covering for them, right? Accomplices to the demise of the American people. That's what you want, Brian Tyler Cohen? What happens when the Democrats betray us and go against us and say something, do something else? What happens? Who is going to protect us then if you create the same thing the right-wing media has? Just like how, you see how most, I think it's a high percentage of Republican voters believe the 2020 election was stolen. You want that for the left? When let's say a left-wing Trump comes around, right? A left-wing Trump comes around and creates this false illusion and lies and whatever, and you want the entire left to just be dominated, so mainstream, not just some far-left channels. You want CNN and MSNBC to create a bubble protecting some kind of crazy left-wing Trump. That's what you want? See, that's the reason why the media can't be involved in this. They got to be independent. They need to go hardcore against whatever party. They're not trying to make any case for any party. They're trying to inform the public of what's happening. Because how else is the public going to know when they're getting screwed? When the Democrats decide to screw us or some future party decide to screw us, who is going to advocate for the people if we have a propaganda machine? The left going to be just as lost as the right is right now. That's what you want, Brian Tyler Cohen? I mean, interesting thing. In that case, Brian Tyler Cohen will be good. He's making a lot of money right now. And he would make way more money if things got like on the right. If CNN went all in on Democrats, you know, and MSNBC went all in on the Democrats, him with all the subscribers he has and influence that he has, oh my goodness. I mean, he's a contributor for MSNBC, plus his YouTube channel and everything else he's doing. Got a book now. He's getting paid. So if a left-wing Trump comes and gets in power, and these folks advocate, oh, we need our propaganda on the left. These people are not going to tell us the truth. So the regular, everyday people are going to be getting screwed on healthcare, on crime, on whatever it is. While Brian Tyler Cohen is going to be living a life of luxury in his little elite bubble. Oh, yeah, this is not, yeah, Democrats, we're not like Republicans. No, Brian. We don't need a left-wing propaganda machine like the right-wing propaganda machine. Right? We need nonpartisan media. Right? That's not playing little games, and it's not focused on profits. And stop with your bullshit about, oh, the mainstream media is so evil. Both sidesism. That's not a mainstream media thing. How many independent media channels are doing the same goddamn thing? You don't want to talk about your colleagues? That's what it is? That's the problem, man. You, as a part of the media, represents, again, another part of the problem, right? You go so hard against the mainstream media, but you ain't got that much to say about your colleagues in independent media doing the same both side stuff that you keep talking about, man. It's about the business. It's not about the ideology, right? Mainstream media does what they think is going to make the most money. Independent media does what they think is going to make the most money. And what makes the most money is to pander to your audience, right? So if you're trying to get mass appeal, then you do the both sidesism, right? You're lean left, you got a lot of left-wing people, but then you slide in some centrists and some center-right folks as well with your both sidesism. Oh, he calls out both sides. Yes, both sides need to simmer down. Oh, I appreciate that. He's not some far left that only thinks that the right is a problem. I like that he does that, right? Both sidesism is a profit motive. So anyone that's in the media doing for profit is going to want to do that. So stop with the scary boogeyman. Oh, the mainstream media. Oh, the evil mainstream media, except the one that pays me. What? You want MSNBC talking to an MSNBC person talking about mainstream media? What? Get the hell out of here, man. This is an access journalist. This is how you get access to interview the President of the United States. When you operate as a propagandist for progressives and liberals, right? When it's all about your tribe, and notice when he talk about we this, we that. He's doing exactly what he's trying to advocate mainstream media to do, right? He operates as a part of the Democratic Party media machine. And he's saying, CNN, join in. Right? When people will tell you they're already joining. Nah, man. CNN is focused on profits, not on the Democrats. Fox News, on the other hand, they focused on both. Right? Look at how they were created. Well, he wants CNN to be Fox News. That's what he wants. What in the actual hell? That's not it, man. That's not it, man. We need less propaganda, not more propaganda. But who am I fooling? I'm talking to a propagandist like Brian Tyler Cohen saying we need less of him. He ain't trying to hear that. This is the Debate Me channel. Debate me in the comment section below. Click on the like button, subscribe, smash that bell. Be well. Wow.